with Ty, the dog guy, on the daily, and I want to talk to you about electric collars, electric training collars. Now, for those of you who know a little bit about us at our training company, we use electric training collars. In fact, with most clients we do. Now, the reason we do is because done right, it allows us to get to an off-leash level of obedience, a much more advanced level of obedience and manners, much quicker, much easier on the owner, and much easier on the dog, and in a way that's very humane because we can use very low levels. Now, all of that is quite a tall order, right? You know, easier, quicker, better, more humane. You know, that's quite a tall order. Must be a pretty amazing tool, right? Well, it's just a tool. It's cool technology in that it emits a pulse from a distance and things like that. And so the technology itself, though, isn't what's cool. It's how you do the training with it. Now, I was reminded about this yesterday, because yesterday I was out walking my little girl here, Chocolate Chip. We were out walking, and just the most perfect storm comes at us. And it's this young girl, she's probably 16, 17 years old. She's on a hoverboard. You know what those are? One of those little hoverboard things. She's got two big dogs. She's not wearing shoes. She has no leashes with her. And the dogs are off leash. And so the dogs see my dog and come charging. And I'm like, oh boy, we're gonna have quite an issue here in a second. Charging dogs, usually not a good thing. So anyways, they come charging, and I scream over to her, hey, get your dogs on a leash. She doesn't even have a leash, and she's like apologizing, and she's telling the dogs to come over and over and over. And the dogs get over, and thankfully, they were nice. Now, even though they were nice, that can often, Chocolate Chip did a fine job, but even though they were nice, that often freaks out the dog that's on the leash. So anyways, it's not a good situation to have happen. It went fine, but anyways, as I look down at these dogs, they're both wearing electric collars. And I'm shouting to her, dude, get your dogs on a leash. And she's not, and she doesn't even have a leash, and she's like, I'm sorry, they're on electric collars. I can't believe they're doing this, I'm really sorry. She's feeling bad and stuff like that. And as I looked down, I looked at the electric collars, and they were the pet store variety, kind of a low quality. They don't work very well. And so instantly I knew at that moment that she had not trained, the family had not trained with a dog trainer. Because no dog trainer uses, collars that are that kind of crappy. And so I knew that they had done it on their own. Now, I'm not an anti-DIY. Well, personally I am. I don't DIY anything. I'd rather have a professional, help me or do something for me or whatever. But I'm not against folks that want to do things on their own. But when it comes to training with an electric collar, it is not intuitive. You don't turn it on and hit a button. In fact, that's what she was doing. She was hitting a button. One of her dogs she was able to corral. The other dog took off and ran away. I got to my house and I kind of peeked out and tried to see what was happening, and her dog was off on the hillside. And this is what happens when training tools are used improperly. Like I say, they had no professional help. I know that just looking at the collars. And I also know it looking at the behavior of the dogs. They had no professional help, and yet they were using a tool which requires a lot of skill to be able to use. So what I'm getting at here is tools are great. You can use a hammer to fix a wall. You can use a hammer to break down a wall. Tools are great. You can do good things, you can do bad things with them. But when it comes to training your dog, don't try to go the intuitive route and just start buying tools and thinking, hey, I'll just figure this out as I go. It rarely works, and when it does work, usually it takes too long and it's too stressful on the dog. So do yourself a favor, do your dog a favor. If you're going to use any training tools, hire a trainer, do a lot of research, do a lot of study, buy videos, invest in books, invest in the education that you need in order to use the tools properly.